I'm Hefe.
And I'm Wildman West.
And this is the 24 Beers of Christmas on Dragonfire Entertainment. And we are on beer number 14, which means two things. We have a beer and a Christmas review for you. So, today's Christmas review is a little more unconventional than the movies that we do, but we'll get more on that later. So, first things first, we are going to dive into this beer. Day number 14 on the Lodi Tap House Advent Calendar. I'm just going to put this on.
I was going to say,
and that's it. Come on now. Come on.
yank it!
Day 14. Little guy. Oh, of course. Here we go. Penrose. I've been here. These guys are great. Elf Boots Hazy Session IPA.
Elf Boots!
4.5 ABV, El Dorado hops, Citra, and Mosaic hops. So it's going to be a hazy IPA.
And you said the ABV is 4.5?
Yeah, it's a session IPA.
Okay.
Session IPA.
No, I didn't hear the session part, so...
Session normally means very drinkable, easy drinking beer.
So it's crush. It's going to be a crusher.
Crushable. Patio Pounder! Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. That 12-ounce can, it's not going to be much in the glass, but that's okay.
Hefe, you have a session?
I have a session.
I'd have a session.
I'd have a session. That's it.
Very light.
Oh, yeah.
Light in body, obviously. But hazy. Light and hazy. Light and small, just like the Elf Boots themselves.
Elf Boots Hazy Session IPA from Penrose. Here we go, folks. This definitely has a
Ooh.
hazy look to it.
I'm getting a hint of pineapple in this one.
Yeah, well, that definitely, a lot of those hops are going to give you that, the El Dorado and the Mosaic for sure. Gonna give you
It smells
citrusy.
sweet.
It smells sweet. I have no doubt that it will be sweet.
All right.
So, jingle jangle.
Not as sweet as I thought, but still
Tasty. Okay, so I want to say day 8 we had a hazy IPA, correct? That one was a little more heavy body than this one. This is definitely lighter in body, a little bit sweeter. Obviously, with it being a session, it's going to be easier to drink, easier to take down. It's a nice, easygoing beer.
Yeah.
But again, let me say, what's Christmassy about it? I mean, besides calling it Elf Boots, what makes it Elf Boots? I'm just confused. Because I'm not really tasting Christmas in this beer. And when I drink Christmas beers, I want to taste Christmas.
I get you.
I want to. It's not a bad beer. I'm not saying it's a bad beer. It's nice.
Yeah, no,
I'll say it's nice.
Okay, Hefe. Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and say nice.
Nice.
I like the flavor. I like the body of it. It's just like you say. I don't really see anything Christmassy about it.
Yeah.
So that is that situation where I'm kind of going, yeah, you know, Penrose. I get what you're doing, but you know what? Leave the elf work to the elves.
Right, exactly.
You know.
It's still a good beer. I'm not let down, but it's
It's the
Christmassy
thought
about
that
it.
counts, right?
With all gifts and Christmas, yes. So, with that being said, that is my review on Elf Boots from Penrose. Now, I get to talk about a little fun Christmas something. So, we normally talk about Christmas movies or Christmas specials. So, in light of that, I'm going to talk about Robot Santa. Robot Santa is the epitome of what Christmas has become in the future of what is known as Matt Groening's creation of Futurama. Futurama has a few episodes and a movie that has some segments involved with Robot Santa. Robot Santa was created with the programming to decipher who is good and who is naughty, who is nice and who is naughty, right? So, the problem with a robot is they don't see the human element. Therefore, everyone is naughty.
Yeah.
So what does that make Robot Santa? It makes Robot Santa the evil villain in any story he's in. The problem with the Robot Santa was that in every Christmas after the year 3000, which is where the story of Futurama takes place, is everyone is now accustomed to Robot Santa coming every Christmas to rain hellfire on the world. The Robot Santa can be everywhere in any amount of time. He doesn't need sleep, he doesn't need to rest, he doesn't need energy. He is Robot Santa. So he will go around and he will punish anyone that he finds. So that's why it has become a tradition in the Futurama world that everyone hides during Christmas. They seal up their fireplaces with a giant safe door. They lock down all of their windows with lead-plated metal doors. They basically prepare for war when Santa comes to town. That's basically the joke in Futurama, is like, don't you know, Santa's coming to town, everyone hide! And one of my favorite revelations that Fry makes is that when he says, Christmas is not supposed to break us apart, it's supposed to bring us together. And then eventually he says, now I get it, it brings us together in fear.
You better not shout, you better not cry. Bender's gathering ammo with Fry. Robot Santa's coming to kill.
So the fun thing about Robot Santa, I'll go into a little bit of history with this, is that the very first story that involved Robot Santa was the very first time that Fry had heard about Robot Santa, which also, it's not called Christmas in the year 3000, it's called Xmas. So so Xmas is the time of year where you hide from Robot Santa because he's going to kill you if he finds you. A lot of funny stories that come later are that people still write Santa, but in a very different tone. Now it's like, hey Robot Santa, please don't send me any gifts this year. The last time you sent some chestnuts killed my grandfather, and he's really starting to smell like Xmas, if you know what I mean. So then they show like the dead grandpa rocking in his chair, just dead, like, oh god. One of the funny parts for me was the actual behind the scenes history, was the very first episode with Robot Santa was in season 1, and Fry is trying to find the perfect gift for Leela. So what happens is Fry is caught out far too late, and he is tracked down by this Robot Santa, and this Robot Santa is voiced by John Goodman, which is fantastic. It was a good fit. Basically, it was full of puns, and he says like, no use for mistletoe because that is nothing against my toe missile, and then he just shoots a rocket. The fun part about this is that it really shows you how humanity as a species really evolves with the idea of what Santa is. Okay, great, let's give a robot, because they are ever living, the idea of an equation that will tell you who's naughty and who's nice. But they show you in a second episode where Santa is reviewing who's naughty and who's nice, and he's looking at a group of mobsters that are torturing a guy for not paying protection money. He goes, mobsters torturing someone for not paying protection money. Naughty. But then the person not paying his protection money, just as naughty. Right? So now there's the problem with there's no human element when it comes to Santa Claus, who is a robot, because he sees everyone who's not doing what they should be doing as being naughty. So the fun idea with that was they took this character who's supposed to be holly jolly and just now terrorizes everyone. And then in future episodes, they show you more. So Santa in the Futurama episodes, he lives on the planet Neptune. And on planet Neptune, it's basically the South Pole, or the North Pole, I apologize. It's basically the North Pole, and it's because it's ice everywhere, right? So the Neptunians are technically the elves. The aliens that live on Neptune are the elves, and they're puny because he doesn't feed them. And there's still a toy factory that has not been in production for quite some time because since everybody's naughty, there's no toys to make. So now they don't have a job and they're just sitting in poverty. What's funny is the second episode that involved Robot Santa was actually not voiced by John Goodman, but voiced later by the Bender voice actor John DiMaggio. They switched over to him because John Goodman was not able to come over due to some conflicts, but honestly, I think John DiMaggio's version is just a little better. That's just my personal opinion. But he and the Futurama crew get into a bit of a tiff, and they melt him into the ice of Neptune. So he's stuck in there. And the funny thing about every episode that involves Robot Santa is they are all musical episodes. Normal conversation, random musical number. So that's where the fun comes in. In that one, Bender takes place, in the second episode, Bender takes place of Robot Santa, and they make a whole bunch of toys, and then he goes back to Earth, and he's trying to deliver these toys, and Bender, as Santa, he comes down a chimney, and his family's like, oh my god, he's in! Everyone, take your cyanide pills! And he's like, no, wait! I have gifts, and at very affordable prices! Because Bender's not that great of a guy anyway. But it evolves from that and going, okay, so they release Robot Santa, and then the true meaning of Christmas is, Bender, won't you join in my sleighing tonight? Not slay, slaying. So Robot Santa and Bender are going around dropping bombs and wreaking havoc because that's the new meaning of Christmas, is hiding in fear from Santa Claus, who's a robot. Then the very third time that they bring him in is during a movie called Bender's Big Game. And that's when they are trying to hide from these scammers, and they go to Neptune and then find out, oh crap, I forgot we're on Neptune, that's where Santa lives. Then Robot Santa, Kwanzaa-bot, who is the robot equivalent of the epitome of who Kwanzaa is, the Hanukkah Zombie, all form a team to fight against these bad guys that are the scammers in Bender's Big Game, which was the first movie that came out after the series had been canceled. And all three of them bind with the rest of Earth's people to fight against the scammers, and there's a whole big musical number. Hanukkah Zombie is actually voiced by Mark Hamill, by the way. And still John DiMaggio as Robot Santa. So basically, anytime Robot Santa is involved, it is a big villainous return, and he always has some big problem. He's never a big fan. One of the funniest moments is the moment when Bender as Santa is captured, and he is put to trial by the courts for doing all of these inhumane crimes against humanity, right? All these crimes against humanity. And he's going to be murdered. And all these people are like, no, we have to save Bender. Why? I don't know. Because it's Futurama. So all of these other cast members come in and say, I'm Santa. I'm Santa. And they're all dressed as Santa, and now it's confusing the mayor and the judge, and everyone's like, who's Santa? And then all of a sudden Zoidberg comes in dressed as Jesus. I'm Santa's friend Jesus. And it's like, oh my god, we can't tell who this is. Like, we can't tell which one's the right Santa. Jesus, who's the right Santa? And he's like, they're looking at Zoidberg. But then, of course, Robot Santa swoops in and then asks Bender to help him make Christmas what it is. Basically, when it comes to Christmas, it's funny that they took the idea of the safety of Christmas and then 1,000 years later turned it into the fear of Christmas. Basically, what brings people together is the combined survival of happiness. Exactly. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what Robot Santa was, how he became who he was, and just the fun impact he's had on the nerd community in general.
Fair enough. What would you grade it?
Oh man, absolutely! I'd give it an A. Solid A, absolutely. So like, in my world, like, I'm a huge Futurama fan, but I can't say anything in Futurama is perfect. They have a lot of very good emotional moments, but then they have a lot of very good, just comedic moments. Sometimes, you know, like, especially when it comes to the movies, because nowadays in streaming services, they're broken up by episodes. You can really see the episodic formula of it, but it's still a fun character. I really like how they transformed him into this evil villain of Santa, as opposed to always being just this sign of joy for Santa, which is really fun.
Fair enough, man. I totally dig your review on this one, man. Totally.
Definitely an A.
Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed this beer review and the episodic review that Hefe gave us today. Make sure you leave a thumbs up. Leave a thumbs down if you didn't agree with the beer or the review that Hefe gave. Also, make sure you share on social media, but most importantly, push that little red button and don't forget to ring that holly jolly bell for instant notifications on Dragonfire Entertainment. Until then, I'm Lawman Wes.
I'm Hefe.
And we'll see you tomorrow for day 15 of What's Your Poison's 24 Beers of Christmas and another review. My turn.